Hello, I'm Umbrenero and welcome back to Umbrenero's Life. Today's video is Making Cards for the Holidays Part 2. So, up next is the batch of cards for the next set of holidays I decided to make. And this falls for the month range of July, August, and September. There are not a lot of holidays really in this area. So I decided we're just going to do 4 that would technically fit July. And they might fit some other holidays like down the road, but this is the easiest ones I was able to come up with for right now because this video is a little bit late. It happens. I'm not perfect. So, as you can see, I have my watercolors and I have my cards. So, we're going to get right on into this and do 4 designs. And I'll openly say one of them did not turn out exactly how I was hoping because my brushes did not dry enough in between the various times here. But it is what it is. We'll make things work. I'll figure it out one way or another. So, first things first is I had to activate my watercolors I was going to use. And in July, if you live in the US, you know what holiday is there. So, I was doing a very loosely based theme. And having minimal colors to really worry about for making these cards did make it go a little bit quicker. Because in reality, this video is how long it took for me to make these 4. If I had stuff prepped in advance and had a whole bunch more things laid out, ready to go, I could have probably done like multiple copies of a few of these. So, it is what it is, and I'm just gonna go with the flow. But, did zoom in so that way you can see the cards as they get done. Yes, my camera did want to freak out somewhat, but that happens. So, first thing I did with this first design is I took 4, not 4, wow. I took some white paint, just basic white, and put it on first because I wanted to see what was going to happen when I added the colors. Like, this one was truly experimental and I just wanted to see what happened. So the white paint is on there. It's still wet. And I'm like, alright, we're going to start with the red and see if it blends together nicely. And it kind of did. Of course, my camera wanted to misbehave again, which happens. And it's like, oh, I'm going to make some of these a little bit longer. And I'm just going to let the watercolor do what the watercolor does. And I have to say it actually ended up looking pretty neat. So, very, very loosely designed flag. Not exact. It's inspired by. Because I didn't want the blue and the red to actually mix, so we just went very loosely inspired. So it's not an exact replica because I didn't want to do that. But that was the first design. Moved out of the way. Time for the next one. And this next one, well, actually for the next 3, I decided I like using this white gold color I have in my watercolors. So, the entire background is going to end up being that for the next 3. Because it gives a nice little shimmer and it's just a very neat little wash that I can do for some added dimension and sparkle. So did a very quick layer on there as full coverage as I could on a white background. Doesn't really change it much. And then it was time to add the red and blue, which is a very, very simple process if done correctly. And that's what I was gonna try to do. But while I was getting my colors ready, it's like I am getting low on how much color I have on some of these, so it's like, all right, let's go and just go with the flow for this first one, see if it's enough. And it was, and it gave me these really neat like fire burst effects, especially on the wet background. I really liked how this looked, and it's like, cool, I want to do this with the other color. And I have the same brush. This is where I made a slight mistake, but I made it work even though I didn't get exactly what I wanted. Is I added too much water to my blue, and it did not give me what I was hoping for of those little burst effects, which I really like. So it's like, all right, well, we have a little bit of both. We'll go with it. Make do with what we have, because why not? And I'm like, all right, this will be good for the second one. And right here, I was actually adding more water to my red paint and my white gold, because I knew I was going to need more of both colors, so might as well hurry up, get those done while I'm letting this sit for a minute to see if the blue would actually do anything fun, which, spoiler alert, it did not. But time to move on to the next one. And I have a go-to thing that I do with my watercolors, right where I will do splatter. It is quick, it is easy, and it's something that I don't mind doing, and it's kind of fun sometimes. So, put on my white gold background for this third card. Doesn't really show up much different, especially on a white-based card, but that's fine. And I grabbed some red and some blue, and we're gonna make a mess on purpose. And I started going in, I'm like, I should move these other cards out of the way. Because you don't always think of that immediately. And the way that the white gold absorbed some of the blue and gave it a little bit of a shimmer effect, that's what I wanted. It just makes it more dimensional and unique. Did some of these colors kind of blend together once it dried? Yes, that always happens. But it is what it is. And then it was time for the red. And same thing. It's just, it's like we were just playing in paint. That's truly what I was doing. So it is what it is. And I said, good enough for this one. On to the next. And this next card, I will admit, it did not turn out correctly. This was the one where it just didn't turn out fully right, which it happens, but I made do. I wanted to do more of those like firework burst effects again, and I was doing it on top of the wet background again of the white gold, and they just did not go right because the brush I was using was too wet, just didn't want to work right. That stuff happens. So I did the next best thing that I could, and I ended up just making very unique shapes that can be interpreted as like fireworks. But because of the theme that I decided to go with for this set of cards, I just went with having 2 red and 2 blue with the white in the middle, where this card could really be used for anything. Like, it could even be used for thanking veterans for their service, stuff like that. And who knows, maybe I'll turn that into something like this. We'll see. And this was me fighting with it. It just happens. But these were the 4 cards that I did for this set of the holidays. Next set will fall for October, November, December. 3 very distinct holidays in there, and Veterans Day, so there's technically a few. So, we might have an interesting layout for the next set of cards, but you'll have to wait to see then. And I just had fun here. It is what it is. So, next time we will see what exactly I come up with next. So, thanks for watching, and if you could like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. Again, thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Umbrenero. Bye!